Good morning. Today's performer is a world-famous juggler who lives right here in Fayetteville. Galen Harp created the Institute of Jugglology to redefine what it means to be a juggler. He has juggled for over 20 years, and in 2014, he won the World Championship of Juggling. His favorite food is pizza, which is very sadly hard to juggle. Please help me welcome the Institute of Jugglology.
How are you guys doing today? Good? Yeah. The weather finally turned good, right? Like it was hot and now it's awesome out there. Now, like she said, my name's Galen and I'm a juggler. And I don't say that just because I throw objects around in patterns. I say that because I believe all humans are jugglers, right? I mean, if you think about it, we go throughout our days manipulating objects to achieve our various goals. Right? Sometimes that's driving a car down the road. Sometimes that's slam dunking a toy in the toilet. Oh, don't laugh. You did it too. When you were little, I know you did. We all did, right? And I mean, if you really think about it, at one point, we were all crawling, and we spent 2 years learning the physical skill, 2 to 4 years, learning the physical skill to stand upright and walk. Did anybody think about walking when they came in here? No, they just went, I gotta go over there, and you don't think about it anymore, right? And all of us are capable of taking these physical skills and turning them into something that's automatic, right? So I've taken that same skill that all of us use to walk, and I am going to take this pool cue and balance it on my chin while I balance this glass ball on top of the pool cue. Now, I think we could all agree that this is still a balance trick, just like walking is, but this one is like next level from walking. It also has a huge risk of knocking me straight out. Someone laughed at that. They're still laughing at it. Oh, I forgot to move the microphone. There we go. You can clap now. Thank you. I always like when people are enjoying me in imminent peril. The thing that should really impress you, though, is that this is on my chin, and I'm talking. One guy? One guy? Right, thank you. Now, but that's balancing, and you guys came to see juggling. Would you guys like to see me try a little bit of juggling? Oh, that was about half of you. So would you guys like to see me try a little bit of juggling? Oh, that's so much better. All right. Now, we as jugglers kind of think of this as the walking of juggling. Every trick I'm going to do goes into and out of that pattern. It's kind of where I'm safe, right? Well, most of the time, all right? You also learn to use your feet pretty early on. And just because, let's see if this can work. See, things can be really difficult and super silly all at the same time, right? Oh, I can tell you guys want the really difficult tricks, right? All right. So we'll try crossed arms one way, crossed arms the other way. Oh, I don't know what just happened. Something weird, especially with the microphone. Okay. Oh, there we go. Thank you, thank you. All right. Ooh, this is not the way for this. That's for sure. I'll find my way back there. I was starting to think I might not make it back. All right. I don't know why that's happening. Oh, I squeezed it and it got better. All right. Oh, thank you. That was really good because I nearly averted failure. All right, 4. I'd feel good about this, but this trick's actually carved on the Egyptian pyramids or in an Egyptian tomb, so I don't feel so good about it. It's kind of an old trick. You guys want to see a new trick? All right. I'm going to try to do that cross-arm thing with 4. That usually means it's not going to work on the first try, especially at 10 a.m. Another morning person like me out there. Whew. I can't believe that worked. Let's try another one. Let's try another one since that worked. This time, instead of going in circles, we're just lines. This one really messes with my head. Oh, I'm going to blame that on that. Oh, you guys are awesome. You know not to applaud when I mess up. I love it. It's like you're just reinforcing me. Every show, then I'm like, and expecting it, and it won't work. All right, here we go. Whew, thank you. Still, that's just 4, and you guys probably want to see me try 5, right? All right. Sweet, it's working. Thank you. Whew. You guys see how lucky I got at the end there? They touched. They're not supposed to touch. All right. What? No, ideally I don't want them to touch. I could try to make them, but it's real rough. All right, now, juggling has been something that's been around for the beginning of recorded history. There are images carved in Egyptian tombs, and the first mention of a juggling show is in the Sumerian texts, which is the earliest document we have. For all of that time, 4,500 years, people only juggled sticks, balls, or rings. And it wasn't until the 1990s that circus performers had enough agency to be able to just pick up a random kid's toy and see what they could make happen with that.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I know that's what I said when I thought of this. You may notice that I don't really talk during this part much. It's because it's really hard. All right, there's 2 ways this ends. One is I drop them on the floor. The other is I try to do the extended version. Which would you guys like to see? All right, I'll let you know that has never worked and also ends up the same way as the first one, like me dropping them on the floor. But we're gonna try it. It's not gonna work. One of these days, the second part of that is gonna work. Thank you guys so much. you say? Oh, thanks for noticing that. I'll get it later. Yeah. All right. Now, have you guys ever thought of learning how to juggle? Nice. All right. Well, I think the main reason most people don't learn how to juggle has a really simple fix. Most people, when they start to try to learn to juggle, try to do this. And it's odd that is way easier with two objects, right? To throw one up and pass it across the bottom. But when I do that with 3 balls, you'll see that I have to start doing 2 things with my hands at the same time. And our brains don't like that. And so the 3-ball pattern of this is what most people try to learn. This took me a month. The pattern you should try to learn first is this one, and when I switch, you'll see how much slower and less complicated it is. It's like half the speed of the other one. And so you run into this weird problem where the easiest way to do 2 balls is a really hard way to do 3 balls. So most people, if they start by just imagining a window's in front of them, and every throw with the right hand hits the top left corner, and then you aim to hit the left hand throw on the top right hand corner. Just 1, 2, 1, 2. You should even feel a little space with the hand that starts. And then once that starts to feel comfortable, that 1, 2, then you start just doing it. Right hand starts, left hand starts. And you'll start to notice that there's a moment. And that's where the other ball should be. And once you get this part down, you will be surprised when you pick up the 3rd ball and it will just work. Because this is the hard part, the getting the 2 balls organized in the right pattern. You guys want to see some tricks with clubs? All right. This is one of my favorite objects to juggle because of the amount of variation of what I have to do. The object is now bigger, and for instance, I can't ever do that with a ball. It won't work. Let's see if I can get every single one like that. Wow, I'm impressed myself right now. Woo! All right. I'll try to do some of the classics. I call this one No TV for a Year. It's a good name for a trick. Okay. And then everyone likes this one. Sweet. Until I've shown them that I can also catch them back there and throw them back there. And then they're more impressed by that stuff usually. But now, what would you guys think if I could juggle without throwing? Yeah, I like challenges, and often people will propose ideas, and this came up in a show where someone said, why don't you juggle, but don't throw anything? At first I was like, exactly like you guys, that's not possible. But then after about 150 hours of practice, this happened. Sweet. So it is actually possible. In fact, I have a friend that is working on a 5-club version of that, and it just hurts my brain. It doesn't look, he looks like he has 5 sets of hands while he's doing it. It's pretty crazy. I like that one, but when I get them to change direction in the air, most people don't realize it, but that's a way harder. Sweet, thank you. Oh, that's catching while juggling without my hands. But you guys want to see me try 4, right? All right. Whew, I got lucky. That worked. So, should we try 5? Okay. Feels like I'm in a blizzard. That's getting replaced. All right. This is like a video game, or like a video game. I get at least 3 shots at this. This is super hard. Woo! Hold on, though. We'll take that one. I did the trick, but I'm going to try to do it a little bit longer. We're calling this the early on the Saturday morning effect. Ooh, that was way better. Way better. Thank you. All right, now, ring juggling. Ew. I don't know what that is. All right. Ring juggling allows a whole new set of possibilities because now I have an object that can spin around things. All right. Or be flipped like a club. Right? Or one of my favorites, let's move this back just a little bit. One of my favorites, which is a ring grind. And because everything in juggling can be done backwards, I've been working on the backwards version of that. He is super supportive. I really appreciate it. Oh. Wait, we'll try one more time on that one. I have to put so much spin on the ring for that one, it like goes wild a little bit sometimes. That's okay. I got more. All right. Thanks. I'm glad you clapped before I dropped. That worked out pretty good. All right, 4 ring juggling. Hi. We'll see if I can do that while I juggle. Hi. Oh, God. I should not have looked away. The wave would have worked without the look. All right. Now, being a person with a beard, this part of the trick, or this part of the show, is particularly scary for me. You know how many times the beard has come off? I look down and I'm holding a handful of hair. And then I realized, well, that's kind of a detractor of having a beard, right? This is a classy one. Nobody without a beard can do this one for sure. My family over there is laughing because they've never seen that one. Errant ring. I'll catch it. Oh, or maybe not. Whew. All right, now, as a juggler, I spend a lot of time in my studio practicing tricks. And one of the things I'd been working on for a long time was how to balance the most amount of objects in a stack. And at the time this happened, I'd only accomplished 4. That was what I could do. And at the time, I was trying to cantilever rings like this. Architects are like, the juggler just used an architectural principle in juggling. Okay. So I was in my studio and I was practicing that when I'd first learned it, and it fell off my head. And normally it just falls apart into its pieces. But this day, it fell and hit a club and stuck like this, right? So I'd made a mistake, and I mean, it was definitely a mess up. I dropped, all my stuff was on the floor, But instead of getting angry that I messed up what I was working on, I decided to look at the mistake and see what had happened. And I found that not only could this sit like this, but it would also stay like this and still hold together. And allowed me to do a couple of tricks with it while it was locked together, even though they simply easily fall apart, right? Well, that led me to think if that goes both directions. Ooh, hey Gretch, would you grab that ring for me? I don't have another one to replace that one. Thank you. So I realized I could take one object in one orientation and the other object in another orientation. And just because I was willing to look at a mistake as an opportunity, I doubled the amount of things I was working on. So I went from being able to balance 4 things to being able to balance 8. So to me, it's really important. From that moment forward, I don't make mistakes anymore. Or if I do make a mistake, it's really just something I can learn from. And it's also, the most interesting part for me is it's a place that ideas come from that I would have never thought of. They just bubble out of nowhere as long as you're willing to look at them and assess, right? You guys ready for another trick? All right, what kind of trick? You don't know, little man? No? He's like, one with the shoulders. All right, we can do that. A trick with the shoulders. I need one more club, though. All right, as requested. This also fits into that category for the kid that came in juggling, and I told him I would have to do some harder tricks in the show because he already knew how to juggle. This is one of them. Okay, that's one. Now let's try to do them all. That one was for you, man. Now, a lot of times at shows, I'll ask people questions about stuff, and one of the times I did that, it was about what do you think would be the most difficult thing to juggle, right? And someone in the audience yelled, water. Right, and I went, there's no way to do that. And so after the show, I thought about it some more, and I realized water's liquid in one state, but it's solid in another. And once I made them, I realized that they were correct indeed, that water, once you made it juggleable, was the most difficult object to juggle. It's ice. Okay. Yeah, these are so bad I can't even hold them like I normally do. And it just gets worse as you go. Thank you. But now we're going to try to do a couple of things on top of this. I'm impressed that one worked. Thank you, thank you. Okay. Try a little columns. Oh my. This is the part. Are you guys seeing the catches that have to slide back into place? That's a little hard to see. But I feel it, I assure you. Oh, you were checking your glasses. I thought you had your hands up like the kid from Home Alone and were worried. I was glad. I was like, wait till later when I pull out the knives. Okay. Now, one of the cool things is I don't know if this will happen here. Hey, Gretchen, will you pick a piece of this up for me when it breaks? Thank you. Will you hand me 2 pieces of that? Thank you, thank you. It is, even her just picking it up, she's like, it's so cold. I've been juggling this stuff for a minute or 2 now. All right, this lets me do 4. Maybe. Maybe. All right, here we go. Yeah, we're gonna keep that one short. Thank you. All right. Woo. We'll try to do one more trick, which is one. And this one's crazy. It's a start. Although if you guys would have clapped, I was stopping there. All right. I'm gonna try to throw it and catch it in the other pit. It goes over my head while I do this. It's scary. Ooh. I hope you guys saw how much correction has to happen there. Whew. That makes me real glad for this part of the show. Because while I was doing that trick, that water was boiling, and I get to have a nice cup of tea out of the props I just juggled. Forgot to unplug this in a show once. There was a kid in the front row that was like, "Hey, your tea is boiling." Oh, that is not good tea. Yeah, you should not leave tea in your prop bag for 6 months and then make a tea out of it. It's basically rocks at that point. Yeah. All right, so like they mentioned earlier, in 2014, I won the world championship. Do you guys think I did that on my first try? No, on my first try, I came in dead last. Yep, and so I went home and I worked really hard and I went back the next year and I got second. And so I went back home and I worked even harder the next year. And the third year, I came in dead last again. It's just how things work, right? And so I went home and worked super hard the fourth year and was finally able to accomplish it on the fourth try. And so that shows me that no matter how difficult something is, you should always keep trying if it's something you're really invested in. Would you guys like to see an excerpt from the performance I used to win the world championship? I was like half of you again. All right, let's try one more time. Would you guys like to see it? All right.
There are some oddities in the perspective with which we see the world. The fact that we live at the bottom of a deep gravity well, on the surface of a gas-covered planet going around a nuclear fireball 90 million miles away, and think this to be normal, is obviously some indication of how skewed our perspective tends to be. But we have done various things over intellectual history to slowly correct some of our misapprehensions. Curiously enough, quite a lot of these have come from sand.
This is how it works. You're young until you're not. You love until you don't. You try until you can't. You laugh until you cry. You cry until you laugh. And everyone must breathe until they're dying breath. No, this is how it works. You peer inside yourself. You take the things you like, then try to love the things you took. And then you take that love you made and stick it into someone else's heart, pumping someone else's blood, and walking arm in arm. You hope it don't get harmed, but even if it does, you just do it all again. And on the radio, you'll hear November rain. That solo's awful long, but it's a good refrain. You'll listen to it twice, 'cause the DJ is asleep. On the radio, on the radio, on the radio, uh-oh. On the radio, uh-oh. On the radio, uh-oh. On the radio.
Check by a jumbo jet. It wasn't easy, but nothing is. No. When I feel heavy metal, and I feel that I need when I lie and I'm easy all of the time, but I'm never sure why I need you. Down when I was young. It's not my problem. It's not my problem. When I feel heavy metal, and I feel that I need when I lie and I'm easy all of the time, but I'm never sure why I need you.
Stop.
Those of you sitting down low might want to go up a little bit. Oh, thank you guys so much for coming out on your Saturday morning. I hope you enjoyed the show. I'll be around for a little bit if anybody wants to say anything. You guys have a great day. Thank you.